And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Okay, we'll start the show off here with hazardous weather graphics. Since there's hazardous weather in the forecast, we've got high wind watches out for the eastern Aleutians and western Alaska Peninsula for north winds gusting to 70 miles per hour. That's correct. North winds gusting to 70 miles an hour. And again, the western Alaska Peninsula and eastern Aleutians, and that goes into effect tomorrow for the day Friday into Friday night. And Kodiak Island, high wind watch out there as well for east winds. And again, that's for Friday and Friday night for east winds gusting to 75 miles per hour. And from there, we'll take a look at satellite imagery, and you can see still showery clouds across the southeast coast, back up toward Yakutat, and a weak low pressure area pulling westward here, pulling that clouds and some showers there into Prince William Sound and the southern Kenai Peninsula area, southern Cook Inlet. Otherwise, up to the north, an area of snow, kind of an extensive area of light snow falling here. Koyukuk Valley down in toward Fairbanks and eastward there, spreading up toward the Brooks Range area. And then some more flurry conditions, kind of a band right here, bringing some areas of light snow to the Chukchi Sea. And then a system developing here, pushing clouds and rain into the Pribilof Islands, and clouds all the way down to the central Aleutian areas, but precipitation amounts down there are pretty light today. But that system will be developing and pulling southeastward, so everything, wind and precipitation, will be on the increase across that entire area. And showing this again, you can see that low pressure starting to spin up there quite vividly on the back here on the last few frames of the image, and a lot of moisture down here over the southern Bering Sea and the Aleutians. That mostly mid and high level clouds in that area. And then here's the showers here over south central Alaska. On today's graphic, we'll see low pressure just south of actually about Resurrection Bay or so. That brought about 2/3 of an inch of precipitation to Seward during the day today, with lighter shower amounts up in toward Prince William Sound and the North Gulf Coast. Yakutat picked up about 1/4 of an inch of precipitation, and then 1/2 an inch of rain falling in Petersburg today, with lighter amounts, less than 1/10 of an inch, for example, at Juneau. Dry across the Copper River Basin into northern Cook Inlet, or actually all of Cook Inlet, and especially all the way out here to the west with some clearing periods. Otherwise, areas of light snow falling north of the Alaska Range, with some measurable snow occurring at Denali Park there into portions of the eastern interior. But the heavier amounts of about maybe 1 to 2 inches appeared to fall over the Koyukuk Valley. At Bettles could have picked up 1 to 2 inches of snow, since it was about 0.17 inches water equivalent. Anyway, some more light snow, flurries to light snow conditions along the Arctic coast there, and mostly out over the open water. And then some scattered showers here, still lingering along the southwest coast into Bristol Bay. Here's the next system out there to the west, and it drops southeastward here tonight. They'll bring increasing wind and rain into the central and eastern Aleutians, as well as the Pribilof Islands there. And then fair conditions, dry southwest coast into the Kuskokwim Valley and northward there for the Seward Peninsula as well, and probably even the Noatak Valley in the northwest coast. Areas of snow here, light snow over the open water areas, sliding into the Bering Strait and just grazing the western and central Arctic coast. This area of light snow shifting northward, so snow will be ending here over the Tanana Valley 40-mile country areas and shifting northward across eastern Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast. This low staying put, slowly weakening, but really not moving much, and that's going to keep clouds and some shower activity south central Alaska, mostly Cook Inlet, Kenai Peninsula area. Definitely from the North Gulf Coast, or that very weak front keeping light rain and showers across all the panhandle. And then for tomorrow, that system stays in place. The low just kind of vanishes, the surface low. Remnants of the front keep showers and light rain chances pretty good here for the southeast coast, back in toward the Kenai Peninsula, and of course Prince William Sound. And let's see, in the interior, not too bad, drier today, maybe some clearing for the Tanana Valley into the around maybe the southern Koyukuk Valley. Brooks Range on off to the northeast, light snow there to the eastern Arctic coast, and still some light snow chances grazing the central and western Arctic coast. That's just colder air coming down over the open waters. They're picking up moisture and then sliding it down into the Bering Strait, maybe St. Lawrence Island. Otherwise, this big storm here dropping southeastward, not as big as it'll be the next day, but that'll start to really bring the winds on, at least the gale force winds out of the west-northwest into the central Aleutians tomorrow, with rain from the central Aleutians spreading all the way up to Kodiak Island, gusty winds and rain for the Alaska Peninsula, slipping on up along the southwest coast there. And then for the day Friday, this low tracks southeastward here and ends up, at least some portion of it ends up south of the Alaska Peninsula at about 957 millibars, so look for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts out of the north and northeast for the eastern Aleutians, western Alaska Peninsula. Strong northeast winds, east-northeasterlies, could gust 60 miles per hour, say around King Salmon, and over toward Togiak and Dillingham. Strong winds, again, gales out for northern Cook Inlet, storm warnings, southern Cook Inlet. Storm warnings all through this area here into the North Gulf Coast with 45-knot winds forecast for Prince William Sound. Lighter winds over the interior and much nicer conditions, drier with some clearing. And for the southeast coast, not a bad day there until this thing rolls in late Friday, or Friday evening, Friday night. And for the temperatures down that way, for tonight in the 40s again, otherwise teens and 20s over the interior from the Arctic coast all the way down into the Kuskokwim Valley and Bristol Bay. Not quite as cold over Bristol Bay tonight as you saw this morning with 25, the forecast low for King Salmon after this morning seeing 19 degrees. Mid-20s in the Copper River Basin. Otherwise, lower 30s for south central Alaska. Highs for tomorrow in the 40s here across southern Alaska, into Bristol Bay, mid-40s for the Kodiak Island area, 45 to 50 Alaska Peninsula, eastern Aleutians. In the 30s, central interior, 20s from the Arctic coast to the North Slope, and actually the Brooks Range to the North Slope. And for the Panhandle, highs upper 40s to lower 50s. Followed by lows again, back in the 40s for the southeast coast. Teens and 20s, Arctic coast all the way down in the northern Kuskokwim Valley, Copper River Basin, but staying in the 30s here, south central Alaska to Kodiak Island. And then highs for Friday afternoon, a little milder, maybe into the lower 40s there around the greater Fairbanks area, otherwise in the 30s. Teens and 20s for the Arctic coast, North Slope and Brooks Range, and highs mid-50s here for the southern Panhandle, near 50 for Kodiak Island, and in the 40s out to the west.